Take a good look around you. Everyone is addicted to something. Smartphones, sugar, dope, video games, social media, lust, drinking, the list goes on and on. Rarely will you find someone who's free from such obsessions. We're all addicted to something, even if it's a little bit. Everyone keeps forgetting that each of us has only a single life to live. So why do we waste it on pointless desires, such as mindlessly scrolling through social media for hours? Why does dirty content on the internet excite us more than intimate relationships in real life? Why spend so many hours progressing in a video game instead of the real world? All of these questions really make you wonder where humanity is headed, mindless drones slaves to their desires. But if you pay enough thought into it, you'll see the logic behind our actions, which are usually based upon our primordial instincts. The modern world is an entirely different realm, where everything is overly stimulating for the human mind. Now, what does that mean? Businesses focus on selling us things or services that stimulate and excite our mind. Just look at all the dirty content on the internet. With so many different niches covered in exaggerated lighting, makeup, and sound effects, no wonder most men find it more stimulating compared to intimacy in real life. Similarly, games like Overwatch and Valorant create an abundance of easily achievable and rapid goals for teenage boys to get them hooked, instead of them focusing on real-life achievements. This is extremely unhealthy, because the human mind was never made to comprehend so much overstimulus that we encounter today, and the normalization of such things like junk food, dirty content, social media, etc. is so widespread that no one's taking a step back to see where exactly we are headed with such habits. Now is the moment that you might begin to realize how unnatural these habits are, but once you're back in the real world, you'll feel like they're normal again. This is the power of normalization. The deep psychological effect that it has on people is ineradicable. Society has normalized such habits, with every junk food restaurant at the corner of the street. Dirty content is just a couple of clicks away. Every household has a TV, and every single kid has a smartphone to be a part of social media. Most guys have a gaming console or a gaming PC to addictively fuel their desires. Not being on social media, abstaining from drinking soft drinks, and not having a TV in your house is somehow perceived as being weird. These overstimuli are persuasive. Society leads you to believe that if you're not an addict of such things, then you're the weird one. But you have to wonder, is it normal that 1/3 of Americans are clinically obese? Is it normal that a majority of men please themselves to digital images of girls more than real intimacy? You have to understand that this world is in and of itself a huge trap filled with super simulating things that will steal both your time and your money. But more importantly, these super stimuli will take away your free will and make you into another mindless drone in society. Once you understand this harsh reality of the world, you can take steps to avoid it. Though if you're watching this video, you already know that there's something fishy going on. So, be thankful that you haven't been indoctrinated into being a mindless slave of society and still have some semblance of control. You, as a human, have the capability to resist this. You can avoid these super stimuli that plague society. Especially things like social media, all of the dirty content available on the internet, especially the more degenerate side of it with those two-dimensional ladies. So, how would you go about taking steps to protect yourself from this abundance of super stimuli? Well, first, you identify the problem. Because if you don't identify what exactly is the cause of the issue, you won't be able to do anything about it. Second, you avoid it. Simple as that. Of course, it's easier said than done, and you can't completely avoid these super stimuli unless you're planning to leave civilization to go live in the mountains like a hermit or something. But it's necessary to avoid it as best as you can. Take alcohol, for example. Everyone knows how harmful it is, yet so many people partake in it that you'd think it's actually good for your health. So, what you can do here is to avoid things that can lead you to coming into contact with it. If your friends say they're going to a bar to hang out, you can suggest that you go somewhere else instead. go to a cafe, or even the gym. Anywhere where you won't come into contact with alcohol. Or take video games, for example. They're not bad per se, but too much of anything is bad. So if you find yourself playing video games all day, try to reduce the time spent at home by partaking in productive things like going to the gym or going to a cafe to study. Respect the power of these superstimuli and stay away from them. Now that you've started to avoid the superstimuli, we come to the third step. Retrain yourself so that the absence of these superstimuli doesn't drive you mad. Retrain your mind. A human's mind is surprisingly flexible, and, depending on the circumstances, you can make it do whatever you desire. Let's talk about alcohol again. You might be thinking, how can someone possibly quit alcohol? Everyone nowadays is so addicted to it. Our minds have practically associated happiness with alcohol. Many people even believe that it's simply not possible to have fun without being drunk. But have you ever thought of how they reach this conclusion? Of course, it has to do with your mind. If you believe something, then by the law of assumption your mind will start to think of it as reality. So follow the steps that I mentioned before, and you will automatically start to retrain your mind to not be addicted to these things. Realize that, while a modern world brings many benefits with it, there are also a lot of things that are in fact bad for us. Realize that these things can ruin your life and try your best to avoid them. If you want more videos like this, be sure to hit subscribe and take a look at the other videos on the channel. Why not like the video too? It will greatly help the channel.